Commander Cockings and Captain Foley here, yet again for another Trekyards mission briefing, fan design. This is, as you all know by now, the more relaxed discussion show, and this time we take a look at a fan design ship, which is, part of the greater expanded Trek universe. We discuss, we theorise, and we see what this new ship has to offer to the Trek world.
And this week, we are taking a look at the HORNET Class Interceptor, the USS Wasp, designed by Bill Krause, which is a carrier-type design with fighters included. Bill was actually the winner of the contest, but not for this ship. He won for the USS Shangri-La, which, because he won the contest, he will be getting a full Trekyards Originals episode.
3D model and everything, which is going to be, I'm looking forward to animating with that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, fully fleshed out ship. We do the history, the backstory, everything about it. So look forward to that, guys. But let's take a sneak peek at what he has to offer with this USS Wasp.
So I've seen this ship floating around for quite a while now, and it is great. And I can't wait to actually take a look at it and see what it has to offer. So the ship has a length of 285 meters, so it's about the same size as a Constitution class refit. And it's clear by the style of the ship that's about the era it's in, which was at 305 meters. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to meet Bill Krause at Wonderfest this year and actually see this model in person, get up close and personal. And one or two of the pictures might reflect that. But anyway, let's get into the ship and take a look at it.
And this first picture is great. And I got to say, first of all, Bill, I mean, these are physical models, and they are beautiful physical models, both this and the Shangri-La. I mean, they are the texturing, the nuance, the new feel, yet the old classic aesthetic. I mean, A star. I think that must have reflected because you won the competition for your Shangri-La class. So that's I got to say straight away.
Bill goes all out. I mean,
yeah.
He does character designs for all the main bridge crew and everything. He does the emblems, everything. So I mean, it's very detailed and thought out ships. So
that's one of the nice things about this episode. We get to look at a physical model, and a really nice one. So this first picture has, I guess, the early version at the top and the full version at the bottom with the USS Wasp logo.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool. 9707 or 9701. Sorry.
Nice. So first of all, Stuart, I've got to ask, what do you think of the actual premise of this ship, having that wasp? Because you can see it at the top. I mean, it's a very interesting style. What is your first impression? What is your take on this?
I don't think the Federation would necessarily do that. Design something that looks like an animal. That's more of a Romulan thing. But that being said, this is very cool with the way that bottom part comes down, and I think this torpedo launcher down there. So it's the Stinger.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, I obviously the front view, it looks like a Connie variant, and this way, I vote for the Shangri-La because it's a great variation. But I don't think Starfleet would go that weird. I could see it being like a roll bar, like maybe it comes down and it's a torpedo roll bar. Like, I know this is kind of a version of that, but it's too far in a direction that we've never seen done afterwards. I mean, Federation has a very specific design aesthetic. I mean, this isn't. I mean, the Nebula class has that top module that that's what they would do. This is.
That's because they never had Bill Krause designing stuff for them in TOS and TMP years.
I know, but I don't. It's a gimmick. No offense. In a good way, like this is what gives it that feel. But the USS Wasp, it's a bit of a gimmick. So it's cool.
But there is an actual USS Wasp ship in the U.S. Navy.
Oh,
yeah, Bill Krause is a military man. That's what all his ships are based on, actual ships.
But anyway, great design. I like that. The fun thing about his designs is that there's a lot of lack of stuff in it because the saucer has been broken up. The secondary hull is sort of gone, at least in the front photo or the top photo. Sorry. So it's like the Connie, but a lot of it's gone, and it gives this a whole new feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Okay, so let's move on to the next photo. And this is, of course, the ship with the fighters attached. Now, you might be going, where are the fighters? But we'll see the fighters in the next photo. This is a little bit hard to wrap your head around if you don't know what the fighters looks like, so maybe we should just move to the next photo.
First of all, so this is... obviously, this is probably his first sketch, one of his first sketches.
Yeah, probably one of the
first. It has a different feel to it because now we've seen the first photo. That top stinger portion in this first version, the top picture, it's so angular. Yeah, there's no sleekness to it. The full version is a lot more sleek. And the warp nacelles, it's interesting how he's tapered them off at the front, which gives it a slightly different feel. And also the again, same thing. The saucer is a bit like one of the Axonar ships, the Korolev, I believe, having that cut-out portion, whereas the full version sleeks in a lot more, which gives it a much more organic feel. This one's a bit more cut and paste, as in they just cut bits off and they paste in new details. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, every ship has to start somewhere, and this is probably one of the early sketches. So.
Yeah, it's good though. So you're saying the fighter, okay?
Yeah, so let's move on to the next photo. You get to see the fighters, and this is the fighters. They dock into the ship. There's actually docking ports on the side of the ship.
On the neck. There was the details. Right, okay, yeah, we go back for 1 second. It's there. Okay, you can't see the audience, but the bottom picture in the neck, that's where they are, right? Back to the fighters.
Yeah, and they actually plug right in, and then just the front part opens up, and the
okay, so
out.
Okay. First question.
Mm-hmm.
Federation, do they even use fighters? Canonically, not really. And this itself is another radical step. Did you speak to him about the background about these? Because I'd be fascinated to know why.
I did not.
Okay.
But canon aside, fighters are used extensively in Star Trek.
Are they this pointy?
No, this is an interesting design. But I mean, it looks cool. There's a phaser on the top and the bottom of those long spires.
Okay.
So basically, keep them away, I don't know, from the main body of the ship, perhaps? I don't know.
Yeah, because that cockpit is small. Good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's kind of a nice little evolution. It's got sort of a work bee feel, which is, that's obviously the era it's in, but just pushed out. It's interesting. Yeah, I like the detail at the bottoms are warp 1.8 and warp 3. That's actually quite a lot of speed for a fighter.
Yeah, that's where you put the warp core. How big is the warp core? All that kind of stuff. True.
Although since a warp 1 engine's been around since the Phoenix, I mean, I'm sure they can sleek it down to something very small. I mean, warp 1 really doesn't help you much, but it still is a I mean, this fighter's never going to be star system to star system. It's probably just a case of escape a battle. Warp 1 is enough to get a couple of parsecs away, sort of thing. So it's not really there for travel. It's just there for escape, probably. Yeah. So warp engine's pretty small.
But this show is about the ship, so let's move on to the next picture.
Well, hold on. There's a warp drive unit on the back diagram next to the ion engines. It says 3 little lines, which are difficult to see.
I see that.
So, the whole thing just sticks out. That's interesting. So it's got 1 warp engine, basically. Or is... Yeah, okay. Huh.
Maybe that's the little mini warp core. Who knows?
Yeah. Cool, though. It's interesting. And it definitely follows that Wasp Hornet aesthetic. Oh, this is the USS Hornet, this one, apparently.
Yeah, I had to look for a picture of the fighters, and this was the closest thing that I could find. So this wasn't actually supplied with the model information, but I wanted to point out what those look like. So
interesting. Cool. Okay.
All right, so let's move on to the actual ship. So here we go. This is a great orthos. I love the front and the back views of this thing.
Yeah, they're really dynamic. I do like how the warp engine's attached to the hull. It's very sleek. It's very, very natural in like a non-natural way. Like it's just like, and plug. Right, ready to go.
And they're thicker struts than you see on the Connie.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more beefy, and I do like the tapering of the front of those nacelles. They make it look very smooth and sleek looking.
And you got the deflect dish is in the primary hull right below the saucer, which is interesting. Sort of an evolution of the Saladin, having the dish popping out. I guess that's the next step. And then you can see the deflector torpedo at the bottom. So do you think? Oh, might see some more details later on. But do you think then that Okay, so the secondary hull is literally the tapered Wasp bit. Do you think then that since this is probably a more warlike, hence the name, do you think that that's maybe a fast firing torpedo launcher, like it has multiple tubes lined up ready to sort of just keep piling in like that, like maybe 3 decks dedicated just towards torpedoes fireage?
I would assume so. This one looks very aggressive and built for battle, and with that being there, I think that would exactly what it would be, like a torpedo gunboat almost. Like,
I mean, you see the Akira with those mass torpedo launchers at the top. I mean, torpedoes are a strong weapon. I mean, we see in Star Trek 6 those torpedoes ripping through the hull of the Enterprise. They really needed more torpedo gunboats. They really did.
Yeah.
We can see at the back on the aft view, they've got 2 aft-facing torpedo launchers at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and 2 shuttle bays, either side of the saucer. 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's cool. Huh. Nice. Oh, that again means there's a lot less space in the saucer, because I mean shuttle bays are pretty, they can be pretty big. So I'm assuming this is a lot less actual mass than a Constitution class. I would assume.
Yeah, it was probably like it's more purpose built for battle for sure. I've even seen cutaways of some of these models, not this one specifically, but where they have those 2 shuttle bays at the back of the saucer like that, but they actually join. They go through the entire saucer, and it's all one main shuttle, like the lower parts of an aircraft carrier where you store all the planes.
Yeah, so it's more like the Enterprise D, where it's meant to have, where it could have had that big internal space.
Yeah, exactly. But it goes around the front of the saucer. It's kind of a horseshoe shape, and then the inner part is all the quarters. And
it's interesting. I mean, you're losing a hell of a lot of space though.
Yeah, but if that's its purpose and its mission, I mean, maybe the fighters go in there when they're not ready for battle.
Although then that would, so if it's again more of a military ship, because obviously fighters, you've got to have crew to be in them. So if you've got 20 fighters, you have to have 20 dedicated people who just are there for fighter squadrons. So if you can imagine it's only got a 90 crew, say, something really compact, then you're losing a lot of people just for fighters, but you need less quarters then. Or they live on the shuttles.
Maybe, who knows? But yeah.
So the next picture is Sean Turingo style. We can tell. And this is some fun angled orthos of the Wasp. The bottom detail is interesting.
Yeah, it's different than almost all the pictures we've seen. It's a little altered.
Sensor dome looks like at the bottom, and it's got the impulse engines are at a slant, which means you can see them more obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I've also noticed too that the front of the nacelles are not as tapered as they are in builds.
Yeah, those are the same nacelles. Yeah, and then you've, I guess, 2 front torpedo launchers as well, either side of the deflector, I would guess, or they're blue in this one.
I don't know what they are. I don't think they're torpedo launchers.
Probe launchers, maybe.
Maybe. Well, we'll get a better look at them in a minute, probably. So.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. This is early stages of well, before painting anyway. Yeah, there you get a good shot of the one shuttle bay door on the one side, and you get to see has an impulse crystal too.
So is this the kit bash or sculpted fresh from?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
You take a main model, you cut parts out of it, and then you sculpt the rest. So I mean, he's doing a TOS style one right now, and it's just amazing to follow his progress.
Oh, cool! That's awesome.
Yeah. So
the next picture is interesting.
This is at Wonderfest. This model was entered, I think, I don't know if it was entered this year or not. I believe it was. But they had them up in the Resin Illuminati suite, and I was up there hanging out with the guys and got pictures of them from my phone. So that's what this is. Sorry for the beer bottles and stuff. We weren't drinking.
Bev as well.
We don't drink. Those are Coke bottles.
Coke, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is the real thing. Again, beautiful detail. Yeah, although the nacelles look less tapered than they do in the pictures. On this
a little bit, yeah, but they are tapered for sure.
And at the back also looks like it tapers down as well in this version.
Yeah, a little bit, I think. Okay, so this one is a view from the top again in the Resin Illuminati suite. So excuse the beer bottles and the caps and the Coke and.
Yeah, it's fine, Stu. It's fine.
But you get to see some modification on the top of the nacelles there at the front. And this one has the honeycomb structure where the actual fighters dock into.
Ah, so they're not escape pod hatches then, they are. Because that's what I thought they were before I knew it had fighters.
Nope, apparently that's where the fighters dock into, and they're not always there. I mean,
you can see they're not there, yeah.
Yeah.
The impulse crystal is an interesting location, though, because we know the impulse crystal, at least in the Economy, goes directly from the warp core. This obviously doesn't, because the warp core wouldn't be next to the shuttle launch pad. But that's small detail. I like its positioning.
Well, each ship, like, you've got to look at the Stallion class and stuff. The warp cores have to be configured differently for each Federation kind of style.
Well, I get the sense this is probably a smaller warp core than the other one, or at least the entire length of the secondary hull. I mean, I like you can see 2 phaser ball turrets at the back of the secondary hull.
Yeah,
nice detail.
Yeah.
And I like either side of the shuttle bay, they've got a landing mat.
Yeah.
Welcome
absolutely.
home, guys. It's nice.
So no, it's a great model, especially in person. It's so detailed and well done. It's just amazing.
And when you take out the rest of the saucer, that bridge module does look huge. I don't know if that's a little bit bigger. It feels a bit bigger than the Connie one. I do quite a lot of work with that one, so I think it's bigger.
I think he's modified it a bit, made it a little bit taller, that bottom part there.
It works, though. It pops, you know? Yeah. So the next picture is an undershot, which is really good because we get to see how odd the dome part is at the bottom. It's a lot of modification there. The deflector is really interesting, though. I like that a lot. There probably are torpedo launchers on this version, although having them either side of the deflector is probably a little bit...
I'm not sure those are weapons, though. I don't know what those would be.
I guess you've already got the 2 weapon pods at the bottom. Why do you need 4 forward-facing torpedo launchers, I suppose?
Exactly, and I'm just going to grab this for a second. I mean, if you look at you got the main deflector dish, right?
Yeah.
And on each side, you got these little things.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's what those are on that one.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
But I really like the way he included a deflector dish there, because mainly you always hear complaints about like the Miranda and stuff. Like, where's the deflector dish? Well, he included one just so that wouldn't happen.
No, and it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
And you can see a good amount of detail on the torpedo launcher at the bottom. It looks interesting. I've also got an Arboretum style thing. Those windows midway between, because they have that in the refit.
Well, you need to relax, right?
You do, yeah. Is the saucer thicker as well because they've got an extra line?
I believe it is. It probably has more decks, just to accommodate if that is like mainly shuttle bay. You need more decks for crew quarters and stuff, so it might have to be a little bit thicker than the Connie. Anyway, next picture. This shows off both of Bill Krause's entries that year.
Yes.
The front one is the Shangri-La, which is the winner of the contest. So look forward to seeing a full episode on that. And right behind it, you got the USS Wasp.
So
now, from the top view, I almost prefer the look of the Wasp to the Shangri-La, personally.
Really?
Yes.
It does feel like they are built for purpose. Like the Shangri-La is much beefier, much bulkier, much more resilient looking, if that makes sense. Whereas the Wasp then looks a lot thinner. Well, it looks like, as you say, a Wasp, and it fits that aesthetic.
Yeah. For realism, the Shangri-La looks like it could handle more realistic conditions.
Yeah.
But the Wasp does look cooler as far as just looking cool goes.
But I love this idea, these feel so, TMP, Star Trek 2. These are a glove. They fit so well. Fit like a glove. They go so well into the era. And that is part of these aren't kit bashers. These are a step beyond, which is well done. And that's what you always want to do with ships, is make them fit, because if they don't fit, what's the point,
Yeah, and like the level of detail I said that he puts into these, even right down to the photoshopping old movie stars as his crew, thinking everything through. It's just amazing.
So he sounds like he'd be a good guy for Trekyards, and we'll have a good time with him on the episode. Absolutely, we will. Yeah. But yeah, all the information for this ship is in the description below, so you guys can check it out. And if you want to comment on it, add to it, feel free, because that's what the comment section is there for. Let us know what you guys think. But yes, that is it for this episode of Trekyards. Another unique, to say the least, fan design. But yeah, as always, guys, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it anywhere you think fans would love it, because we want to get more viewers, more people interested, because so much good content every week, and it's really just there for you to enjoy. So more people means more views, means more fun. Yeah. And if you can, guys, and if you are able, please do go over to our Patreon, heaven fell out, and support us any way you can. $5 a month. If enough people give that small amount, we can keep the show going, but also improve it and do more shows. I mean, there's so much we want to do, and we hope you guys will enjoy the ride with us. So yeah, guys, let us know what you think of the USS Wasp, or the Wasp class, down below. Good things, bad things. Is it too radical? Is it not radical enough?
No way.
And just have fun discussing this cool, unique design.
And stay tuned for the full Shangri-La episode coming up, because it's going to be a fantastic episode.
Yes. All right, well, this is a goodbye from me, Commander Coggins.
And myself, Captain Foley.
Until next time, guys.
Bye everybody.